All right, CDL Book Club, this is CDL Class A, and this is the manual truck, and we're gonna make a video for this truck right here. So the first thing you wanna start is with your keys in your pocket and the wheels are chalk. You're gonna start at the top of the vehicle, the ID clearance lights and the turn signal lights. They're amber in color, they're not cracked, not broken, and secure. Amber in color, amber in the front, red to the rear on the truck and on the trailer with no condensation. The windshield is not cracked, not broken, and secure. No obstructions, no outdated stickers. The seal around the windshield is not cracked, not broken, and secure. Not dry rotted or frayed. The windshield wipers are flush to the from the windshield, and they're not cracked, not broken, and secure. And they're flush to the windshield, not dry rotted or frayed. The fender mirror, spot mirror, and flat mirror, they're not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. The headlights are not cracked, not broken, and secure, and have no condensation. They're clean and clear. The suspension is balanced. If it wasn't balanced, I would place my vehicle out of service. The tag is securely mounted to the bumper with no outdated stickers, and it's secure. No leaks or puddles underneath the vehicle or broken glass or hanging wires. If I had that, I'll place the vehicle out of service. All tires are properly inflated to the manufacturer specification. Now, I'm gonna go to the passenger side. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna start with my windshield washer fluid reservoir and my coolant reservoir and the radiator. They're not cracked, not broken, and secure, no leaks, and they should read between the eye and the full mark. The radiator hose, top radiator hose, and all the rest of my hoses, they're not cracked, not broken, and secure. They're not dry rotted or frayed. They're securely clamped and with no leaks. We have the exhaust here that connects to the manifold, and it runs underneath the cab up the stack here. And it's not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, no leaks. If I had any leaks, it would show black soot. Now, right here is my catwalk and my steps. They're not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, no debris, and no illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. My fuel tank on both sides, they're not cracked, not broken, and secure, no leaks, and they're held up with a metal and rubber strap. They're not cracked, not broken, and secure, no illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, and not dry rotted or frayed. The fuel tank has a metal cap with a rubber seal and a metal chain. This not cracked, not broken, and secure, and no leaks from the tank. Now we go to the passenger side. I'm sorry, to the driver's side. Now what we have right here is the power steering fluid reservoir, the gearbox, the engine oil fill, the engine oil dipstick, and we have the air compressor. And on this truck you got a lot of stuff up in here, so you're not really gonna see it. But in this area right here, you have the air compressor and the steering pump. And all of these parts are not cracked, not broken, and secure, no leaks, and they should read between the eye and the full mark. How I will check my dipstick is I will pull it out, wipe it off, insert it back in, and pull it back out, and it should read between the eye and the full mark. The air compressor and the steering pump is gear driven, okay, with no leaks. Now, I have in this little area right here is my alternator, and underneath my alternator is the water pump. They're both belt driven. They're not cracked, not broken, and secure, and no illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, and no leaks from the water pump. The belt is not cracked, not broken, and secure, not dry rotted or frayed. It has no more than 3/4 of play, and that's inside there. Now, system number one is your steering system. And so we're gonna start right here with the steering shaft and the steering linkage. Okay, so you have the steering shaft and the steering linkage. It's not cracked, not broken, and secure, no illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. Steering shaft should have no more than 2 inches of play with free of debris. And the steering linkage is connected by castle nuts and cotter pins. That's right here. Next system is the braking system is right here. So we start with the ABS line and the brake hose is not cracked, not broken, and secure, not dry rotted or frayed, and no leaks. The brake hose go to the brake chamber. It's not cracked, not broken, and secure, and it's not dented, no leaks. You have the push rod and slack adjuster. They're not cracked, not broken, and secure, and you should not be able to pull it no more than 1 inch with the brakes release. And no illegal welds and no loose and missing parts. Now, inside the wheel, right here, is the brake drum. It's not cracked, not broken, and secure, no dents. And inside the brake drum are your brake shoe lining, and they're not cracked, not broken, and secure, and no illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, and the brake shoe lining should not be worn dangerously thin. Now, you have the suspension, which is system number 3. So you have the leaf springs, the U-bolts, the axle held up by the hangers in the front and in the back, and the hangers have mounting bolts connected to the frame, and the shock absorber. And all of these parts are not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. Leaf springs are not shifted or missing, and no leaks from the shock absorber. Now, my drive axle, I'll go to that. I will inspect my drive axle braking system parts and the suspension parts the same way as I inspected in the front, by naming the ABS line, the brake hose, the brake chamber, the push rod, slack adjuster, the brake drum, and the brake shoe lining. I will inspect those parts the same way as I did in the front on my drive axle. My drive axle suspension parts are my leaf springs, U-bolts, my axle, the hangers, the hanger mounts, the shock absorber. I will inspect all of those parts the same way as I did in the front, with the exception, let me show you. So right here is you have the airbag or bellow, whatever one you want to call it, and the spacer, the bracket, and in between, inside there is the torque arm. These parts are not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, and not dry rot or frayed, and no leaks from the airbag or bellow. Now, I will go to my trailer axle. My trailer axle, I will inspect these parts the same way, the braking system parts and the suspension parts the same way as I did in the front, by naming the braking system parts first. The ABS line, the brake hose, the brake chamber, the push rod, slack adjuster, and the brake shoe lining. And these parts I will inspect the same way as I did in the front. The suspension parts is going to be your leaf springs, U-bolts, axle, your hangers, the hanger mounts, the shock absorber, the torque arm, airbag, spacer, and the bracket. I will inspect all these parts the same way as I did in the front. Now we want to go back to the front tire. Now my front steering tire is not cracked, not broken, and secure, and it has no less than 432 in the front on the steering axle if tread depth, and is properly inflated to the manufacturer specification. The tread is evenly worn, no cuts or bulges on the side walls. And how I would check the tread depth, I would check it with the depth gauge. How I would check my air pressure is with a rubber mallet or an air pressure gauge. Now, the front steering tire cannot be recapped. All other tires, the drive axle tires and the trailer axle tires, they can be recapped, and I will inspect them the same way as I did in the front, with the exception that those tires, they should not be rubbing in the middle, nor should they be mixed matched, and they can be recapped, and they should be no less than 232 in the tread depth. Now, my stern rim, I will inspect this not cracked, not broken, and secure, no illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. I will inspect my drive axle rim and my trailer axle rim in the rear the same way as I did in the front here, and with the exception that these are bud rims in the rear, and there should be no debris in the middle. All lug nuts on my steering axle, drive axle, and trailer axle, all lug nuts are not cracked, not broken, and secure. and none are loose or missing. If they were loose or missing, they would show rust or shininess. My oil hub is not cracked, not broken, and secure. No leaks, no loose or missing parts. And I will inspect my drive axle and trailer axle the same way as I inspected my oil hub with the definition of no leaks. Now, my valve stem is not cracked, not broken, and secure. All on my steering axle, trailer axle, my steering axle, drive axle, and trailer axle, all valve stems are not cracked, not broken, and secure with no leaks, have a metal cap. Now I close up my hood. I'm going to strap it down on the passenger side. Hook it in, strap it down. And that'll be the last time that you're going to go on the passenger side. Now, we strap that down. Now we're here at the door. So my door opens and closes properly, and on my truck and on my trailer. And the door hinges are not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. The rubber seal around the door is not dry rotted or frayed. And my emergency equipment is inside the vehicle. I have an ABC fire extinguisher. It's fully charged and it's secure. My 3 reflective triangles and spare fuses are inside the box. They're not, and all of those are secure as well. Now, my handrails, my dummy coupling, my cable connector holder, and my drive shaft. Come on to get this drive shaft right here. And the drive shaft. All these parts are not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, no debris around the drive shaft. And my utility light in the rear here is not cracked, not broken, and secure. And no loose missing parts, no condensation, and clean and clear. Now, my connector box here on my truck and on my trailer, the connector box, there's not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. And I have my lines, the electrical line and my emergency line and service line on my truck and on my trailer. They're not cracked, not broken, and secure, and they're not dry rotted free with no leaks. The glad hands here and electric connections on right here and on my trailer, they're not cracked, not broken, and secure, and they have no illegal welds, no loose or missing parts with no leaks. And the rubber grommets are not dry rotted free. Now I drop to my fifth wheel. So my fifth wheel is right here. My fifth wheel is properly greased, no gap. It sits on the platform. The platform has mounting bolts, and my release arm is in the lock position, which means that my lock jaw is locked around the kingpin. The kingpin is securely mounted to the apron and my locking pin. And all of these parts are not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. Now, my mud guard and my mud flap on my truck and on my trailer. They're not cracked, not broken, and secure, not dry rot afraid, and not dragging. Now, in the rear here, I have, right here's my DOT tape on my truck and on my trailer. And they're not cracked, not broken, and secure, clean and clear. Now, my brake lights, my four-way flashers, left turn signal, right turn signal, red in color. And the reverse light is white in color, and the tag light is white in color. All of these lights are not cracked, not broken, and secure, and they're free of condensation. And that's on my truck and on my trailer. Now I have clearance of 303. That's clearance, so that the truck articulates and don't hit. Now, my header board is not cracked, not broken, and secure, strong enough for cargo not to crash through. My skirt and my landing gear. My landing gear is in the raised position. My pad here is on the raised position. My crank over there is in the lock position. And all of these parts are not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. Now, I run down the side of my trailer. The deck of my trailer and my frame is not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, and no holes in my deck. Now, I go to the rear of the trailer, which is here. My ABS light is not cracked, not broken, and secure. Amber in color, free of condensation. Now, come to the rear of the truck. My ID clearance lights, as I said, they're red in color. I already inspected those. My left turn signal, right turn signal, four-way flashes and brake lights, I inspected those. My tag light, I inspected that. And my tag is not cracked, not broken, and secure. And it's secured to the bumper with no outdated stickers. My DOT bumper is not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. Now, from here, we're going to go inside the vehicle, and you want to tell the DLA that you will enter with 3 points of contact. The DLA should go up the passenger side, and we'll go up the driver's side. At this time, I'm getting my keys ready. Getting my key ready. So I'm going to enter with 3 points of contact. Put my key inside the ignition, but I'm not starting it yet. I'm gonna put my belt on first, and I'm gonna inspect my belt and my seat. My seat and my seat belt properly locked. The belt is not frayed. My mirrors are adjusted for me. My steering wheel has no more than 2 inches of play. Now, I'm going to inspect the inside of the vehicle, and so what I'm gonna do is I'll go ahead and turn the vehicle on using a safe start. So I'll turn the key so this coil will go out. Come on up. So you have a coil right there. You let that coil go out, and your ABS light went out. It properly works. So now I'm gonna start the vehicle up. Make sure you're in neutral. Okay. And so now, what I'm going to do now is I want to show y'all. I started with my wheels chalk. So the first thing I want to do, go ahead and put that right in front of that tire right there, right in front of it. All right. So now that wheel chalk will be on there. You know, that'll be the first thing, because that's the first thing you have to say. So because I'm going to go ahead and do the air brake test for you, I want to make sure that it's there. So now, my city horn properly works, and my air horn properly works. And now my gauges. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my windshield wipers on. There's no obstructions in my windshield. I'll spray windshield washer fluid to show that my wipers are flush to the windshield. They properly work. The key phrase inside the vehicle is properly worked. Now, my oil pressure gauge should read, you can say that it reads from 5 to 20 PSI. It properly works. And my temperature gauge, the water gauge, it rises when the vehicle warms up. It properly works. If it reaches 260, you want to put the vehicle out of service because the vehicle is overheated. And my tachometer, my speedometer, they properly work. My voltmeter should read 12 to 14. My fuel should read half to full. And my air pressure gauges should reach the governor cutout, and that's at 120 PSI. Now, I'm gonna turn my left turn signal on. This is the indicator, right turn signal indicator, and my four-way flashers, they properly work. My high beam indicator properly works. And now I'm going to turn my vents on, turn the vents on to defrost, and make sure it's on heat. Fill at the top, fill down the bottom. They properly work. Now turn it to the vents, fill the vents, they properly work. So now you turn that off. So now my air pressure is built up to the governor cutout rate. So now I'm going to perform my air brake test. So what I'm going to do is, the first air brake test I'm going to perform is my parking brake test. So the parking brake and trailer brake test. This is called the tug test. So I'm going to push in the parking brake first, and now my trailer brake is holding. So I'm going to put my vehicle in low gear and just tug on the trailer brake, and it should not hold. I'm sorry, it should hold. If it don't hold, I'll put my vehicle out of service. It held. I released I released the clutch, and I'm gonna raise it up for you so you can see. And see how it held, so it properly worked. So now I pull my parking brake out. I'm gonna leave the vehicle in gear. Pull the parking brake out, push in the trailer brake, and I'm gonna tug against the parking brake now. I held, the parking brake held. Now I'm gonna pull my trailer brake out, put the vehicle in neutral, and now I will explain my service brake test. My service brake test, I would put my vehicle in a low gear, drive 5 miles an hour forward, apply the service brake, and it should not pull to the left or to the right. No unusual feeling. Now I'm going to put 3 fingers up. These 3 fingers represent that I'm going to 1, turn the truck off, 2, turn the key on so my dash lights up, and 3, push in my parking brake. Starting now. 1, turn the truck off. 2, turn the key on so the dash lights up. See how my dash light lit up right there? Now 3, I'm going to push in parking brake and trailer brake. Now, this is why you got to have the wheel chalk, because the vehicle will roll if you didn't have it chalk. Now my air settled, so now I'm going to hold my service brake for 1 minute, and I should not lose no more than 4 psi within that minute. Starting now. You want to use a watch? Don't use your phone to take this test, because your phone may ring or something may happen, and you don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen, because then you got to try to find that app and all the rest of that. Just stick with a watch or a speed or like a stopwatch or something. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to say that 1 minute is up. So 1 minute is up. I point to my gauge. I say that I did not lose no more than 4 psi within that minute. Now I'm going to fan my brakes down to 60 psi, and my low air pressure indicator and buzzer should come on, and then I'll continue to fan my brakes down to 40 to 20 psi, and the brakes that I pushed in, the parking brake and trailer brake that I pushed in, should pop out. Starting now. Looking for my indicators. My buzzer came on. It properly worked. And at 40 to 20, both of my parking brake and trailer brake popped out. So they both properly work. So everything works. So I'm going to turn my vehicle, turn the key off, take it out. And now my map lights properly work. That's just one extra point that you can say. And now this, I will say to the DLA who will be sitting right beside me, the driver license agent, that this concludes my air brake and this concludes my pre-trip. And if you use this video to practice with, this is the greatest pre-trip for Class A manual. And we have also, if you're not interested in the manual, we have the greatest pre-trip Class A for the automatic. CDL Book Club is where you get CDL minded. You can reach us at the CDL Book Club. That's the as in the number 1 CDL Book Club. CDL Book Club is where you get CDL minded. Give us a call, 240-581-2452. You can reach me there personally, or the office is 301-776-2758. CDL Book Club is where you get CDL minded.